So I want to tell you what is a sacred story for me in this classroom experience that we've had together, this online work that we've done together. This is an important story that happened right here in this pavilion. It was June 2017 along the Provo River here. On one of these rocks, a young family got together to take some pictures. Well, the 8-year-old girl who was standing with mom fell into the river. The river at the time was running maybe 10 times higher than it is now. It was a torrent. The mother rushed in and jumped in the water, and so did the father, and so did a bystander, several bystanders. It was a terrible situation. Rushed in and jumped in the water, and so did the father, and so did a bystander, several bystanders. It was a terrible situation. Well, many of us responded immediately to the call for help as we knew these people were in the river. The radio was blaring. We didn't know how many people were in the river, and as things settled down, it turned out that the mother, the little girl, and one of the bystanders had not been able to self-rescue, had not been able to come out of the river together. Not far from here is a diversion dam, and we immediately stationed people by the diversion dam so we could tell if the bodies floated by, and 2 bodies came into that diversion dam, and we were able to get them and work on reviving them, but unfortunately we were not successful. We searched all evening and all into the night for the body of the little girl, and then about 11 o'clock the search was not canceled but postponed until the next morning, where we started at 7 o'clock. By then the water levels had been lowered at the dam, and we were able to search in much better conditions. And we looked for the little girl, and a team from Heber found the body of this little girl upstream. About 11 o'clock the announcement was made to discontinue the search, and we gathered here at this pavilion where lunch was being provided. The mood was somber, particularly the people from the Heber team were having a very difficult time, as the young man who had found the little girl also had a little girl that very age. And he was troubled, and people reached out to him and comforted him. You see, it's really stressful in those kind of situations. You hear the stress on the radio, you feel the stress. You're always moving in this stressful situation. And we gathered here in this pavilion and ate our lunch in a somber kind of a way, and then one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my whole life happened. One of the detectives came up and asked us all to be quiet for just a moment, and then he walked over behind the podium and escorted this young man out. And the young man, in broken English and mostly Spanish, said, "Thank you so much for your service. Last night I lost my little girl and my wife, and you've spent your days looking for her, and you've recovered their bodies, and I want to thank you for that." And these big firemen, these big tough search and rescue guys, 150 people sitting in this group here, not a dry eye as we sat and dealt with the stress of this situation. These are the things you don't see on the news, but highly reliable teams take care of each other. They take care of stress. They have a family kind of a feel to them, and that's very, very important. So I hope as you come along the journey of this class, it's been good for you, that it's helped you out, that you've learned some things that will be helpful in your life as you are a team member and a team leader. I want you to know that there are two things in my life that have really changed my life in some very significant ways. One of them has been the opportunity to teach, something that I've loved over 25 years now. And the other is the opportunity that is new for me to be a team member on a search and rescue team, to help other people when they need help, when they need it the most. As Victoria Grover said so graciously, you give them their life back. It's not that significant because, you know, they gave me my life back. They made me feel important. And every time I get involved in search and rescue, I feel like I'm getting more than I give. Thanks very much for a great class. Look forward to seeing your projects next week. Take care.